I poured myself a cup of coffee and tried to ignore the way Claire's silence filled the kitchen. "Morning," I said, forcing a smile. She murmured, eyes glued to her phone. "Busy?" I asked. She didn't look up. "Or someone texting you?" She laughed lightly, too carefully. "Just work stuff. Don't worry about it." I didn't. I wanted to, but my gut twisted. Something was off. "You sure?" She glanced at me briefly, that same hollow look I'd been seeing for weeks. "I'm fine, Ethan. Seriously." I sipped my coffee, trying to swallow the unease. "You've been distant lately. Late nights on your phone, disappearing for hours. Did I do something wrong?" Claire set her cup down and leaned back, folding her arms. "Ethan, you're overthinking. I'm just tired." I wanted to believe her. I really did. Tired from work or tired from me? Her eyes flicked away and I froze. "Why would you say that?" she asked sharply. "Just noticing things," I said, voice tight. "You've changed." She smiled faintly, but it didn't reach her eyes. "People change, Ethan. You included." I wanted to pull the truth out of her, but I stayed quiet. Daniel had warned me once, months ago, about trusting too easily. "You ever lie to me, Claire?" I asked, almost whispering. She laughed again, soft but brittle. "I don't lie. You know that." The words felt hollow. I kept watching, heart tightening. I wanted proof, something undeniable, because my mind was spinning with possibilities. That evening, I claimed I had to run an errand. I knew she wouldn't question it. I wandered the hall, pretending to look for something in the drawer, when I saw her, phone pressed to her ear, whispering. "I'll meet you at 8. "Don't worry about him," she said. My chest slammed. The room spun. "Don't worry about him?" I muttered under my breath, stepping closer. She didn't notice me. I watched as her expression softened for someone else, someone not me. A knot of betrayal settled in my stomach. I felt frozen, unable to speak. Finally, I cleared my throat. "Claire, who are you talking to?" Her head snapped up, and for a moment I thought she might laugh it off, but no. Her eyes were cold, sharp. "It's none of your business, Ethan," she said, her voice cutting like glass. I felt my knees weaken. I thought we were. I don't understand. You're supposed to love me." She tilted her head, almost bored. "Love you?" This marriage, it meant nothing. Everything inside me shattered. The words echoed like a slap to my face. I wanted to scream, to beg, to punch, but all I could do was watch. The woman I trusted, the woman I loved, had just destroyed the life I thought I had. I backed away slowly, heart hammering. You're serious?" She nodded, expression unreadable. "Deadly serious." I swallowed hard, gripping the edge of the counter for support. "Daniel was right," I whispered. I should have listened. The silence between us was suffocating. I wanted to turn and leave, but my feet felt glued to the floor. I had no idea how to process what I'd just witnessed. For the first time in my life, I realized love wasn't enough. Trust had been an illusion. And whatever came next, I would have to face it alone. I tried to act normal when Claire came home, but my chest tightened every time she walked past. "Hey," I said, setting down my briefcase. "How was your day?" "Fine," she said, glancing at her phone. "Why?" I swallowed hard. "Nothing. Just, did you get a lot of messages today?" She laughed softly, a little too sharp. "Ethan, you worry too much. It's just work stuff. Don't make it into a thing." "I'm not. My voice faltered. I remembered us last night, the whispering, the phone pressed against her ear. "I saw you yesterday, on the phone." Claire froze for a second, then smirked. "You saw nothing. You're imagining things again. You really need to calm down." "Am I?" I asked quietly. "Or are you just lying to me?" She rolled her eyes and walked past me. "I don't lie. You're overthinking again. Stop being dramatic, Ethan." I felt my hands tighten into fists. Overthinking. That's what she called it. My mind flashed back to the first week of our marriage. Dinners we cooked together, late-night talks on the balcony, her laughter echoing in the apartment. I remembered thinking she was my world. And now, she wasn't even looking at me. The phone buzzed on the counter. I pretended not to notice it as I poured water for tea. Claire picked it up immediately, thumb scrolling. "Someone else?" I asked, unable to stop myself. She gave me a flat look. "No. Why would you say that?" "I don't know. My throat tightened. "Do you even care about me anymore?" Claire sighed, tired of my questions. "Ethan, seriously, I'm not happy with this conversation. Let it go. You're imagining things." I couldn't let it go. Not this time. "Then tell me what this is," I said, nodding at the phone. Why were you whispering to someone yesterday? Who is Lucas? Her eyes flickered, and for a heartbeat I thought she might tell the truth. But then she smirked, almost amused. Lucas? Who told you about him? You're paranoid. I felt a spike of panic. I saw a message. Don't lie to me, Claire. I can handle the truth. She shook her head, laughing softly. Truth? Ethan, you're so dramatic. There is no Lucas. You need help. I stared at her, numb. No. I'm not crazy. I saw it, the message. Said, meet me at 8. Don't worry about him. You said it yourself. Her expression froze for a second, then she laughed too quickly. You're imagining everything. Stop obsessing. I felt my stomach drop. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand honesty. This isn't imagination. Who is he? I need to know. Claire's lips pressed into a thin line. Ethan, you're suffocating me. Go calm down. I can't deal with this drama. I left the room, phone in hand, trembling. I had to call Daniel. Daniel, I think she's cheating. I don't know what to do. I saw a message from someone named Lucas. His voice was calm, firm. I told you to trust your instincts. Don't ignore it. But slow down, don't confront her yet. Gather evidence. Think clearly. I can't stop thinking about it, I said. I feel like my whole life is breaking apart. I know, Ethan. I've been through this before. Trust me, you need to protect yourself, not just your heart. Be careful. I hung up and stared at the kitchen table. Claire's phone buzzed again. My heart sank when I glimpsed the screen. Can't wait to see you tonight. Lucas. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. My marriage, everything I'd built, was crumbling. I thought of all the nights we'd spent laughing, dreaming, planning. And now, she wasn't even on my side. I sank into the chair, gripping my head. How could I have been so blind? Every little thing she said, every small lie suddenly made sense. The perfect life I thought I had was nothing but a reflection. A mirror shattered, and I was staring into the pieces. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my phone, shaking as I scrolled through her messages. How could you? I whispered, voice cracking. What's wrong? Daniel's voice came through the speaker. You sound awful. I found proof, I said, gripping the edge of the table. She's been seeing someone else. Lucas, it's all here. Ethan, slow down, he said. Take a breath. You need to think before you do anything. I can't think, I said. Every text, every receipt, it's all here. She lied to me. Everything she said was a lie. Daniel was silent for a moment. Are you sure? You have to be sure before you confront her. I looked up at the living room. Claire was on the couch, scrolling her phone, pretending nothing had changed. My chest tightened. I am sure, I said. I can't live with this. I stormed into the living room. Claire. I know. She didn't look up. Know what? She asked casually. Don't play dumb. I've seen your texts, the receipts, the meetings. Lucas? Lucas? She interrupted, smirking. What are you talking about? I clenched my fist. Don't lie to me. Meeting him in secret, whispering to him, texting him like I don't exist. How could you? Her expression didn't falter. This marriage meant nothing to me, Ethan. The words hit me like a hammer. I stumbled back, heart pounding, mouth dry. Nothing? You, all those years, the promises, the life we built. All a lie, she said flatly, standing. I never wanted this marriage. I never wanted you, not really. I felt nausea rise in my throat. Why would you do this? She shrugged. Because I could. Because I wanted to. You're too naive, Ethan. Always have been. I felt like the floor had disappeared. I wanted to scream, to hit, to throw something, anything. I trusted you. I shouted, voice breaking. I loved you more than anything. Her laugh was cold. That's the problem, isn't it? You loved me too much. You thought it meant something to me. It didn't. I sank to the couch, staring at the floor. Daniel. I don't know what to do, I whispered, fumbling for my phone. Ethan, Daniel said, gentle but firm, don't make any rash moves. She's trying to hurt you. You need to protect yourself first. I don't want protection, I said bitterly. I want justice. I want her to feel what she's done to me. Slow down, Daniel said. You can't think clearly when you're this angry. Take a step back. Don't push her yet. I hung up and stared at Claire. She sat there, calm, almost smug, as if she had won. You're impossible, she said lightly. You always have been. I shook my head. No, you don't understand. You destroyed me. I understand perfectly, she said. And I don't care. The betrayal stung so deeply it was physical. Every memory, every laugh, every late-night conversation weighed on me, poisoned by her lies. I felt tears prick at the corner of my eyes, but I refused to give her the satisfaction. I stood and took a deep breath. Daniel's right. I need to think. I need to plan. I can't stay like this. She tilted her head, watching me carefully. Plan what? Revenge? You're ridiculous, Ethan. You'll just make a fool of yourself. I smiled faintly, bitterly. Maybe. But at least I'll have control over something, myself. And you'll see that actions have consequences. She laughed, low and sharp. Good luck with that. You'll always be weak, Ethan. Always too soft. I ignored her, gripping the counter for support. My mind was a storm, rage, heartbreak, disbelief, but underneath it all, a spark. I couldn't let this break me completely. I wouldn't. I would fight. I would survive. And one day, she would regret everything. I couldn't sleep. My phone buzzed again and I stared at the ceiling. Daniel, I said when he answered, tell me what to do. He sighed. I can't decide for you, Ethan. You can expose her, file papers, or walk away. Anything else will burn you. I want it to burn, I said. I want her to feel it. That's anger talking, he said. Use the law. Divorce. Evidence. Clean and safe. Safe isn't enough, I said. Forgiving her feels like dying. Exposing her feels loud. Quiet revenge feels wrong but tempting. Listen to yourself, Daniel said. You're on a cliff. I know, I said. That's why I called. After we hung up, I sat alone replaying Claire's words. This marriage meant nothing. I kept asking myself, if it meant nothing to her, why should mercy matter to me? I needed answers from the other man. I texted Lucas from Claire's phone. Meet me. Tonight. He agreed fast. At the bar, he smiled when he saw me. You're Ethan, he said. She never said you'd come. She didn't know, I said. Sit. He laughed and sat anyway. Relax. She chose me. That's life. You knew she was married, I said. So? Lucas said. Marriage doesn't mean ownership. It means trust, I said. He leaned closer. Trust is for people who want to lose. I felt my hands shake. You planned this. The trips. The lies. He shrugged. She wanted excitement. I gave it. What happens when you get bored? I asked. That's not my problem, he said. Neither are you. I stood. Stay away from her. He smirked. Or what? I leaned in. Or you'll regret underestimating me. Lucas laughed. You don't scare me. I'm not trying to, I said. I'm deciding. I left before I did something stupid. Outside, I called Daniel again. He's worse than I thought. I figured, Daniel said. Now choose Ethan. I will, I said. I won't beg. I won't explode. I'll rebuild myself and let the truth surface naturally. That's risky, he said. So is staying broken, I said. Back home, Claire watched me carefully. Where were you? She asked. Thinking, I said. She scoffed. About revenge? About survival, I said. I'm done chasing answers. I'm taking control. She narrowed her eyes. You won't win. I already am, I said. That night, I opened a notebook and wrote one line. Be patient. Be precise. I felt fire in my chest, but also clarity. I wasn't choosing forgiveness or rage. I was choosing myself, and whatever burned next would be earned. I sat there longer, staring at the page. This is who I am now, I whispered. My phone buzzed. Claire texted, Are you done sulking? I typed back, I'm done pretending. She replied, Don't threaten me. I'm not, I said aloud. I'm warning myself. Daniel called again. You okay? No, I said. But I'm focused. Focus can turn dark, he said. So can despair, I said. At least focus moves. He paused. Promise me you won't ruin your future. I promise I'll protect it, I said. When I hung up, the house felt empty. I walked past our photos. You threw this away, I said quietly. Claire stepped closer. Stop blaming me. You weren't enough. I met her eyes. Enough for who? She had no answer. I turned away, heart pounding, mind clear. I wasn't choosing fire to destroy her. I was choosing fire to forge myself. Whatever came next, I would face it awake, not begging, not blind, and never weak again. I grabbed my jacket. This ends on my terms, I said. She laughed. You don't have terms. I do now, I said. And you won't see them coming. I walked out, night air cold on my face. Every step hurt, but every step was forward. I didn't know how karma would strike, but I would guide it with patience, silence, and truth. I knew this choice could ruin me or save me, but standing still had already killed the man I used to be inside. Tomorrow, I would begin carefully, quietly, and without mercy for the lies that tried to define me. This was the moment everything truly changed for me. I walked into the office pretending nothing had changed. "Morning, Ethan," a coworker said. "Morning," I replied, smiling too easily. My chest was tight, but I kept my voice steady. Sophia from accounting approached me. "You okay? You seem off." "I'm fine," I said quickly. "Just busy." Her eyes lingered. "Busy doesn't usually look like this." I sighed, forcing a chuckle. "You noticed too much." She tilted her head, soft but probing. "It's okay. You can talk if you want. I won't judge." I looked down at my hands. "I don't know if I can talk, it's complicated." "I'm a good listener," she said lightly. "You'd be surprised how much difference it makes." Her kindness caught me off guard. Maybe later. The day passed like a haze. Claire's face popped into my mind at every moment. Her laugh, her smirk, her lies. I grabbed receipts, messages, anything I could collect quietly. I couldn't show anger. Not yet. At lunch, a colleague nudged me. "Ethan, you look pale. Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Just tired." Sophia leaned closer. "You're carrying something heavy, aren't you?" I swallowed. "You could say that." She didn't press further. That was enough. Just knowing someone noticed gave me a little strength. Later, at a meeting, I smiled at everyone, nodded at ideas, laughed at jokes. Every word felt like a performance. Every gesture was a mask. Claire had taught me pain, but I refused to let it show. At the company dinner, my heart skipped when I saw her. She sat across the table, Lucas beside her, laughing, touching his arm as if she didn't know I was watching. I reminded myself to stay calm. "Ethan, act normal," I muttered under my breath. Lucas raised his glass. "To new beginnings," he said, smiling at Claire. I held my drink lightly. "Cheers," I said, voice steady. Inside, a fire burned. Claire noticed me and smiled that fake smile. "Ethan," she said, casual, as if nothing mattered. "Claire," I said, keeping my tone neutral. "I didn't expect you tonight," she said. "You look, well." "Thanks," I said. "You too." She leaned closer to Lucas, whispering something I couldn't hear. I clenched my jaw but stayed seated, nodding politely. Sophia, seated beside me, noticed my tension. "Everything okay?" she asked quietly. "Yes," I said. "Just tired from work." She gave me a small, understanding smile. I felt a little comfort in it, a reminder that not everyone in my life was cruel. I watched Claire, laughing, showing the world her betrayal. Every laugh was a reminder of the pain she caused, but I stayed calm. Every word I spoke was measured. Every glance I gave was controlled. When the night ended, I excused myself. Outside, I breathed deeply, trying to let go of the rage that burned beneath the surface. I had to plan. Patience was my weapon, silence my shield. In the car, I reviewed my notes. Receipts, messages, timelines, all pieces to the puzzle. Claire didn't know I was watching. She thought I was oblivious. That ignorance would be her weakness. I glanced at my reflection in the rearview mirror. Ethan Carter. Calm, collected. Angry beneath the surface, yes, but controlled. I whispered to myself, patience, precision, wait for the right moment. The fire was still there, burning quietly. I had to act, but not yet. The mask would hold. I would smile, nod, laugh, appear weak even as I sharpened my mind. And one day, Claire would see what patience and quiet fury could do. I started the engine, gripping the wheel tightly. Tonight was proof. I was calm, but I was far from defeated. I smiled faintly as I opened my laptop. "Looks like things are finally moving," I muttered to myself. Sophia leaned over my shoulder. "What are you smiling at?" "It's still a mess, Ethan." "I'm just watching," I said. "Patience." She frowned. "Watching what? Claire?" "Yes," I said. "She's careless. Too careless. And she doesn't know I see it." Sophia's eyes narrowed. "Ethan, are you sure you're not going too far? I mean, revenge can change people." "I'm aware," I said. "But I can't just sit here. She needs to face what she's done. I'm not hurting anyone else. Just her." Sophia shook her head. "It doesn't feel right. Obsession is dangerous." "I'm not obsessed," I said, though a twinge of doubt hit me. "I'm strategic. Everything I do now is calculated. I'm careful." Later, I sent a few carefully worded messages to mutual friends, small hints about Claire's behavior, nothing direct, but enough to create suspicion. I watched as her world began to ripple. "Ethan, are you serious?" Daniel said when I called him. "You're stirring things up. Are you sure this is wise?" "I have to," I said. "She's showing everyone who she really is, even if she doesn't realize it." "Just don't lose yourself," he warned. "I've seen this before. Revenge can consume you." "I know," I said quietly. "But I can't ignore her. Not after everything." That evening at a small work event, I noticed Claire trying to charm the room. Lucas stood beside her, hand on her back, pride shining in his eyes. I smiled politely, keeping my mask of calm. "Ethan," she said, waving. "Glad you made it." "Of course," I said. "Wouldn't miss it." She leaned toward Lucas. "See? He's still here, not causing trouble," she whispered. I pretended not to hear. I caught Sophia's glance across the room. She raised an eyebrow, concern and curiosity mingling. I gave a small nod. Later I pulled her aside. "You okay?" I asked quietly. "I'm worried about you," she said. "You're too focused on her. Too controlled. Are you sure you're not losing yourself in this?" I looked away, tracing the rim of my glass. "Maybe," I admitted. "But I have to. She's reckless and people need to see it. I can't let her get away with lying to everyone, pretending nothing happened." Sophia shook her head softly. "Just be careful. Don't let her mistakes turn you into someone you don't recognize." I nodded, but my mind was already elsewhere. I watched Claire from across the room. She laughed loudly, telling a story about some work trip. The embellishments were obvious, the lies sloppy. A spark of satisfaction lit me. My small manipulations were working. She glanced in my direction, and for a moment I thought she noticed me. Her eyes narrowed slightly and she adjusted her posture, almost a challenge. But she didn't act. She still underestimated me. Daniel's warning echoed in my mind. "Don't lose yourself." I felt the guilt gnawing. My chest tightened and I realized I enjoyed this, watching her stumble, exposing her lies. Was I becoming as cold as Lucas? As deceitful as Claire? The thought made me shiver, but I pushed it aside. I whispered to myself, "No. I control this. I decide the rules." By the time I left the event, I felt the push and pull inside me, satisfaction that my plan worked, guilt that I was savoring her mistakes, and the fire of determination that I wouldn't stop until justice, or karma, took its full course. Claire might have begun to sense something, but she still believed she was untouchable. That overconfidence would be her downfall, and I would be ready when the pieces finally fell. I watched from across the room as Claire laughed at Lucas's joke, too loud, too fake. "He's unbearable," I muttered to Sophia. She tilted her head, concern in her eyes. "You're not going to get caught up in this, are you?" "I'm not," I said. "I'm observing. That's all." "Observing or plotting?" she asked softly. I gave a faint smile. "Maybe both." Later Lucas made a mistake. At the company event, he bragged about a project Claire had supposedly led alone. I raised my eyebrows. "So, she did all the work and you took credit?" I whispered to Sophia. Sophia's eyes widened. "Wow, that's bold." "Bold and careless," I said. "Exactly what I need." The next day, I subtly leaked the story to a few colleagues. "Did you hear about the project?" I asked a coworker casually. Apparently, credit went to the wrong person. "Oh really?" she said, surprised. I shrugged. "That's what I heard." By lunch, the whispers had spread. Claire's expression was priceless when she realized her credibility was cracking. I kept my composure, smiling politely, but inside, the satisfaction burned. Later I met Sophia at a cafe. "You're changing," she said. "I see it. This obsession, it could hurt you." "I know," I said, staring into my coffee. "But it's controlled. Every move I make is deliberate. I'm not losing myself, Sophia. I refuse to be a victim." She reached across the table. "Just promise me you'll stay human. Don't let revenge turn you into them." "I promise," I said, though a small doubt lingered. Back at the office, Lucas was careless again. He sent an email meant for Claire's eyes only to a large group. I copied it before he realized. "Sophia, look at this," I said later. She read it quietly. "Ethan, you're methodical. Impressive but dangerous." "I know," I admitted. "But mistakes like this accelerate the shift." Claire sensed the change. At a meeting, she snapped at a subordinate in front of everyone. I leaned back in my chair, pretending not to notice. Her panic was subtle but unmistakable. Afterward, Daniel called. You're pushing her. Don't forget yourself in the process. I'm aware, I said. But I can't stop now. She's unraveling because of her own arrogance. You're walking a thin line, he warned. One misstep and it could all blow back on you. I know, I said quietly. But I have to see this through. I need to reclaim control of my life. Later that evening, Lucas texted me, stop what you're doing or there will be consequences. I stared at the message, my pulse quickening. So he's aware, I muttered. Sophia's voice echoed in my memory. Stay human. Don't let anger define you. I typed back carefully, I'm not the problem. Your mistakes are your own. Lucas replied almost instantly, you think you're smart. Watch yourself. I felt the fire inside me flare, but I kept calm. I have to control this, I said aloud. I can't let fear rule me. Sophia appeared at my door later. You okay? She asked. I am, I said. I've never felt more focused. But it's exhausting balancing the mask and the truth. She smiled faintly. I see the person you could be, Ethan. Not the one they are, but you. Don't lose that. Her words sank in. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming myself, piece by piece. I looked at Claire's picture on my desk. You underestimated me, I whispered. And you will pay for it. But not because I hate you, because I refuse to be broken. The stakes had risen. Lucas threatened retaliation. Claire panicked. And I was learning how far I could push, how carefully I could play this dangerous game without losing the person I still hoped to be. The tide was turning. And I would ride it to the end whatever it cost. I watched from the corner of the room as Claire stumbled through her story. I didn't mean for it to happen like that, she said, voice trembling. You didn't mean it? I asked, stepping closer. Do you hear yourself? She looked at me wide-eyed, desperate. Ethan. I shook my head. Save it. I'm not here to listen to excuses. A coworker whispered behind her. I can't believe she lied to everyone, after all we trusted her for. Claire's face paled. No, that's not. I warned you, I said, calm but firm. Every lie, every manipulation, it's all coming out now. Her hand shook. Please? Ethan, don't make this worse. I folded my arms. I'm not making this worse. You made this yourself. Lucas's absence was noticeable. Rumors spread quickly that he'd left, claiming Claire had jeopardized everything with her lies. I felt a twinge, part relief, part guilt. She wasn't alone in this, she had made her own choices. You're happy about this? Claire asked, tears streaming. I'm satisfied, I admitted. But I won't lie. It hurts too. Seeing someone you loved fall apart like this. I didn't love you, she screamed. I know, I said softly. And that's what made this hurt so much. I trusted you. I loved you. I believed in us. You destroyed that. She sank to the floor, sobbing. I didn't mean. You lied, I said. Repeatedly. And now you're facing the consequences. Her friends turned away. Some avoided eye contact entirely. The whispers grew louder, carrying her shame through the room. I kept my posture straight, voice steady. I wouldn't humiliate her further. Nature was doing that for me. Later, she confronted me privately. Ethan, why aren't you angry? Why aren't you yelling? I'm past that, I said. This isn't about anger anymore. It's about closure. She blinked. Closure? Yes. I can't fix what you did. I can't erase the lies, the nights I doubted myself, the heartbreak. But I can move on. I'm sorry, she whispered. I shook my head. Sorry doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring back trust or love or the time you stole from me. She looked broken. Please, tell me there's something I can do. No, I said gently. This isn't about revenge anymore. You've lost everything because of your choices. That's enough. Her face crumpled in realization. I felt a sharp pang, satisfaction mixed with emptiness. Revenge alone couldn't fill the void her betrayal left in me. I stepped back. I hope you understand one thing. This is the result of what you created. I didn't cause it. You did. And now you have to live with it. She whispered, barely audible. Ethan, I never wanted this. I know, I said softly. And that's what makes it even harder for me. I never wanted to see you like this. But I had to see the truth. The room felt still, heavy with silence. My chest ached, not from anger but from the weight of everything lost. You're moving on? She asked finally, a faint hope in her voice. Yes, I said firmly. I've already started. I'm not the same man who trusted blindly. I've learned, I've grown. And I'll survive this. She sank lower, defeated. I wish I could change it. You can't, I said. And neither can I undo the damage you did. But I can rebuild myself. That's my choice. I turned and walked away. Each step felt heavy but freeing. Betrayal had reshaped me. I was no longer naive. I was wiser, stronger. And the fire that had driven me through all of this, through rage, heartbreak, and despair, would now guide me toward a life I chose, not one she dictated. I sat on the porch, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. It's beautiful, I said softly. Daniel leaned back in his chair beside me. For once you're quiet. Peaceful. I'm trying, I admitted. After everything, I need it. A moment without chaos. You earned it, he said. But don't forget, quiet doesn't mean you're healed. You still have work to do on yourself. I know, I said, tracing the rim of my mug. But I'm learning. I'm learning what it feels like to breathe without her lies choking me. Sophia joined us, a small smile on her face. Morning, you two. Ethan, you actually look calm. I'm practicing, I said lightly. Calm, patience, focus. No distractions. No illusions. She nodded. Good. You deserve that. And maybe some happiness too. I chuckled softly. Happiness felt impossible for a while. Remember last month? I couldn't even look at a mirror without seeing betrayal staring back at me. Daniel shook his head. But you faced it. You survived it. And look at you now. I survived, I admitted. But I've also learned. I've learned how love can hurt, how trust can be weaponized, and how easily people can destroy what you hold dear. Sophia placed a hand on mine. And yet you're still here. Stronger. Wiser. More aware. That counts for something. I looked at her, grateful. It does. I realize now that my heart isn't weak because it was broken. It's stronger because it survived. Later we walked through the city, sunlight falling across our path. Do you ever think about her? Sophia asked quietly. Sometimes, I admitted. Not because I want to, but because I have to remember. Remembering reminds me what I will never tolerate again. And Lucas? She asked, a hint of curiosity in her tone. Just a shadow, I said. He was a lesson. Arrogance always falls eventually. I don't dwell. Daniel laughed. Look at you. Philosophical, calm, almost wise. I smiled faintly. Almost. I'm still learning, still rebuilding. But I'm seeing what matters. Trust, genuine connection, people who don't manipulate you. Those are worth holding on to. That evening, I dug through a drawer I hadn't opened in months. Claire's handwriting stared back at me from a folded letter. My hands trembled. This is everything I thought I knew, I whispered. Daniel raised an eyebrow. You going to keep it? No, I said firmly. I need closure, not reminders. I lit a candle and held the letter over the flame. Sophia stood nearby, quiet but supportive. It's hard, she said softly. I know, I said. But it's time. Time to let go. The paper curled and blackened in the flame. Smoke rose and I watched it drift into the air. All of it, lies, betrayal, heartbreak, gone, I whispered. Sophia touched my shoulder. That's symbolic, but it's also real. You're freeing yourself. I nodded. I feel it. For the first time in months I feel light. Daniel smiled. That's progress, Ethan. You've fought, endured, and now you're choosing yourself. I am, I said. And I'll keep choosing myself. Not out of anger, but out of respect for my own life, my own heart. Sophia squeezed my hand. And one day when you're ready, you'll be able to trust again. Love again. Because you'll know the difference between what's genuine and what's not. I smiled faintly, hope rising in my chest. Maybe someday. But for now, I'll just focus on being me. Free, unbroken, and awake. The night settled around us. Smoke from the letter had disappeared, leaving only the memory of letting go. And with it, I felt the first true sense of peace I'd had in months. I walked along the lake, the water reflecting the morning sun. I never thought I'd be back here, I said quietly. Sophia glanced at me. Why not? Because this place, it held memories, I said. Good ones. Before everything fell apart. Daniel's voice came from behind us. Funny how the same place can feel safe and painful at the same time. I nodded. Yeah. I remember the first time Claire and I sat on that bench talking about our future. I thought we had forever. Sophia's hand brushed mine. You had to lose that version of yourself to find the one who survived. Exactly, I said, watching the water ripple. I've survived. And I've learned. Betrayal taught me who I am, who I can trust, and what I refuse to accept ever again. Daniel smiled faintly. And that's a powerful lesson. We walked a little farther. The wind carried the scent of pine, fresh and cleansing. Do you ever wonder about Claire? Sophia asked softly. Sometimes, I admitted. But it's not longing. It's reflection. She's gone, socially, emotionally, everything. I don't need to chase her. Karma handled that. And Lucas? Daniel asked. Gone too, I said. Both their arrogance destroyed them. I only watched. Didn't intervene beyond exposing truths. Justice was quiet but precise. Sophia looked at me, hope in her eyes. And you, where do you go from here? I took a deep breath. I rebuild. I focus on what matters. People who care, honesty, trust. Life isn't about revenge, it's about growth. She smiled softly. And maybe love one day. With someone who values you. I chuckled lightly. I used to think love was blind. Now I know it has to be conscious, aware and mutual. If it happens, it will be real. Daniel nudged me. Don't let the past steal your future. You've done the hard work. Now live. I will, I said, feeling the weight in my chest ease. I'll live fully, without fear, without illusion. We reached the bench where Claire and I once sat. I rested my hand on the weathered wood. Funny, I said. I hated this place when it reminded me of lies, but now, it reminds me of survival and hope. Sophia sat beside me. You've changed, Ethan. Stronger, wiser, awake. I've had to, I said. But I also learned that strength isn't just about anger or revenge. It's about choosing yourself, letting go of what destroys you and opening yourself to what can nurture you. A gentle silence settled between us. The lake mirrored the sky, endless and calm. I realized I didn't need vindication anymore. Seeing Claire vanish, witnessing her consequences, it was enough. My peace didn't come from hurting her, but from reclaiming my life. Daniel's voice broke the quiet. Ready to leave the past entirely behind? I nodded. Yes. This is the moment I stop being haunted by betrayal and start embracing what's possible. The pain shaped me, but it won't define me. Sophia squeezed my hand gently. And I'll be here, Ethan. For support, for friendship, maybe something more if you're ready. I smiled, a real light smile. I think I am. The past has ended and the future. Well, it's ours to create. We stood together, watching the sun climb higher. I felt a quiet satisfaction, not from revenge or seeing her fall, but from knowing I had survived, learned, and reclaimed my life. I was whole again. The wind whispered across the lake, carrying away the last echoes of heartbreak. I breathed deeply, free and aware of every step ahead. Ethan, Sophia said softly, this is just the beginning. Yes, I replied. It's the beginning of everything I deserve. And this time I choose it fully. I looked at the calm water, smiled, and let myself feel the quiet justice, the peace of survival, and the promise of tomorrow.